And action. What's going on, fucking folks out there? How we doing?
What's up, motherfuckers? We're back with another movie podcast.
Goddamn right. Today we got a couple of good ones for you. My choice was The Wrestler, the Darren Aronofsky film. Pretty great.
It's a good
what'd you
one.
pick, Drew?
I picked The Gentleman this week. It's a Guy Ritchie film. I'm going to go on record as saying I think it's Guy Ritchie's best film.
Perhaps. We'll get into that later, but as for now, you know what time it is.
It's screenshot time, baby.
Yeah, that'll do.
Sometimes it gets hard to come up with different shit to do, you know?
I know. And you got to think of it on the spot.
Right?
You know? Fuck yeah. Fucking yeah, dude. Oh, man. How's your new apartment, Drew?
Oh, I love my new apartment,
Digging
dude.
it?
Yeah, dude,
Living
it's
that solo life?
It's fucking so great to have my own space. The only thing that sucks is that there's something wrong with my my central air conditioning unit. It like keeps freezing over, so maintenance keeps having to come over and fix it.
Damn
and so,
that, bruh.
well, I was just like fuck it, and I ended up buying like a super high powered fan, so like it doesn't even bother me. Like I just turn that bitch on, like. Because all I got to do is like point it up, and it like actually keeps almost the whole room really cold. Like now, once it gets to be like 80, 90, I'm like gonna be like, yo, you need to have this motherfucker fixed. Like, cause I ain't trying to live in like 90-degree weather
that
in
August fucking heat.
That fucking August,
July,
like
August.
like wet heat, like
Wet
swamp
heat.
asshole heat. Like,
Straight up.
yeah.
So you been watching any movies in your new apartment?
I actually did watch a couple this time that weren't the assigned ones.
Throw one at me.
It's one of my favorites, man. I fucking love this movie, dude. To this day, it's so fucking entertaining. I watched Stormtrip Troopers, man.
Oh,
movie
shit.
fucking cracks me up.
Isn't
still,
Neil
man.
Patrick Harris in that?
Neil Patrick Harris and
It's been so long since I've seen that.
yeah, the only there's another actor in there. So have you ever seen Breaking Bad?
Of course.
Hank from Breaking Bad is in there.
Oh,
He's
shit.
like one of the fucking military captains.
Asac Schrader.
Amy Smart is in that movie. Like she
Oh,
has
I
like
love her.
Yeah, she's like a very small role. Like she's like
Where's
one of
she
the.
been at, dude? You know, I hadn't seen her in a minute.
I don't know. The last movie I think I saw her in was the fucking Crank movie. She played
Oh,
like.
yeah, dude. They fucking public.
Yep.
You know, Maynard's in Crank, too. Maynard James Keenan.
Is he?
Yeah, just a small part. You know the dog, I don't know if you remember, but there's like a dog, the shot collar with the dog, and he takes the shot collar off the dog and shit. But it was like two random gay guys in the park or something with their dog, and they kept shocking the dog.
Oh, no
And
shit.
one of them's Maynard.
No shit. That's funny.
I'm going to have to give that one a rewatch.
Also, there's another actor. He was in a bunch of movies. Like he's in Highlander. He's like the mean guard in Shawshank Redemption.
Oh.
I can't remember his name. He was in a lot of movies though in the 80s and 90s. But he's one of the drill sergeants in that movie. And then it's also got Gary Busey's son. Like those are like the notable actors in that movie. Like I don't think the dude that plays the main character actually went on to do he didn't get big. You know what I mean? I think he just did a bunch of those fucking movies.
Nice.
But I've only ever seen the first one because that's the only one I care about. It's just like, it's just so iconic,
There's
man.
more
Like
than one?
I think there's like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah,
I did not know that.
I've never watched any other ones though because I'm like, I don't want it to tarnish my opinion of the original. You know what I mean? Because I like that movie so much, and I think like it's just such a good standalone film because it's supposed to be silly, right? Because it's like it's like military satire, like.
One of my movies I watched again. We went to theaters again. I took my son to see Sasquatch Sunset, bro.
Oh yeah, you did so. I forgot to watch that movie.
So I've seen that movie twice in theaters. Not a lot of movies I've seen twice in theaters. The Whale was one of them.
Fucking good movie.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. You got to see this movie, dude. When it comes out on streaming or whatever, I'm going to fucking make you watch it. It cracks me up, dude. Hey, have you seen the trailer or anything?
No, you described it to me last time. And, yeah.
One of them's Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah,
Anyways, you got anything else?
I watched Bullet Train. I like that movie a lot. It's a newer like Brad Pitt movie. It's pretty funny. Like it's like an ensemble cast.
Bullet Train to Iowa.
He's kind of like this unassuming like he basically does like odd jobs, but he has like the worst luck, so he's always in the worst place at the like worst time. So he does this odd job for his company, and it turns out it's like a bunch of assassins are trying to get this briefcase because like the mafia is looking for it. So like he's like it's a pretty entertaining movie, and it all happens on
like
the course of
action packed and shit.
Yeah, it's action, but it's like an action comedy. It's pretty funny. And
pretty good.
Like there's a scene where
where'd you watch it at?
It was on Netflix. I was like,
I didn't see that scrolling through Netflix.
Yeah, it's about to leave, so it's gonna come off pretty soon.
Well, my next one was Apollo 13.
Oh, that's
just
great
because
flick.
I scrolled past it. I was like, fuck it, throw it on. Tom Hanks is great, and you got Gary Sinise, and, Kevin Bacon in there. Who's the other guy? Oh, Bill Paxton.
Yep.
It's pretty fun. It was an alright.
It's a good flick.
All right. I got it mixed up with Armageddon. I was like, isn't Ben Affleck in this?
Yeah.
But nah,
it's
a whole
super
different
emotional
movie.
Fucking
I don't
Aerosmith
close
song.
my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, babe. And I don't want to miss a thing. Because that's his daughter in that movie, Liv Tyler.
Yep.
You got any more?
I think so. Oh yeah, I watched. I keep fucking watching this movie, man. I watched Spider-Man. I won't go into any details because I've mentioned it so many times now.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I watched Across the Spider-Verse again.
Oh, Across.
Yeah. Love
is that a
flick.
different? What's Into the Spider-Verse?
Oh, that's the first one.
Oh, okay.
So Across the Spider-Verse is the second one, which I honestly think is the better movie.
Right on. The next one I watched was an A24 film, Funny Pages.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's about this kid who wants to be like a comic book artist or a comic artist, making funny comics and shit.
I know I watched another movie. Go ahead, though.
I didn't care for it. I did not. There's some really weird shit in that movie, like really jarring imagery and stuff. But I didn't care for it. I didn't like it. No one notable in it. It's kind of. I think it's an indie fucking, film.
Yeah.
What, you got one?
Yeah, I forgot that I went back and watched like the Matrix movies, but I didn't really watch them. I just watched like the.
Just put them on and.
Well, I just kind of like fast forwarded it through all the bullshit and just wanted to watch like the cool action scenes. So I just watched like my favorite action scene from each movie, and then I didn't really like watch them.
I don't see myself ever doing that. I would just watch the movies. But that's interesting that you did.
Well, because specifically,
did you watch the Animatrix?
No.
Is that one shit? I've never seen.
Actually, I think it's pretty cool. Some of the stories are really cool in it. But specifically in the second one, because the second one's
Reloaded.
Actually, I take that back. The third one is by far the worst one. But
the newest one.
Yeah. Oh no, I take that back. The fourth one, the one they came out with like a year or two ago, was like where they brought it back. That was the fucking worst one by far.
Damn, I didn't know there was that many.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I wish I wouldn't have watched the fourth one. I was like, because the third one's pretty bad, but at least it has like a cool infight. But the coolest like action sequence is in the second movie, and it's where like one of the main bad guys, he's called the Merovingian. He kind of like has Neo trapped in like this really cool like European hall, and so he sends all these like men to kill him, and then there's this really cool fight scene that happens where Neo's like fighting with like sais and a sword, like it's the only scene like it where like everybody like has weapons and they're fighting with like old school like European weapons and Japanese weapons.
It's like melee weapons.
Yeah, it was like melee weapons. Thanks, that's the word I was looking for. So it was a really cool sequence, and so I really just wanted to watch that. I was like, I don't really care for this movie this much, but this scene specifically is really cool.
I kind of feel that way about the Jurassic Park movies, how they get progressively worse.
Oh yeah, dude.
At least the original one. I don't know. I think I saw one of the new rebooted ones. Yeah. But
well, it's just like over
the third Jurassic Park is just terrible.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And the new ones are not much better. It's just like they're overly action movies, and it's really just like the second movie regurgitated, right? It's like the same theme.
Yeah.
Because the same shit that happens in the first two movies happens in like the newer ones, right? So they're not introducing any new ideas to the franchise. It's just the same rehashed bullshit. It's kind of like the newest Star Wars movies, right? Where the first of the new trilogy is literally just a fucking repeat of episode 4, the very first Star Wars movie. So the first like new Jurassic, I think it was like Jurassic World or some shit. It's literally just a fucking repeat.
I think I rehash. Saw that one.
Yeah, it's a rehash of the first Jurassic Park movie, just packaged in a slightly different way, right? It's just slightly newer. There's like some different dinosaurs that weren't in the first movie, but it's essentially the same fucking concept where the compound goes down and all the most dangerous dinosaurs escape and everybody starts dying. Like it's the same fucking like rehash story from Jurassic Park 1, but there's just like doesn't have like that actual like storytelling of it, you know what I mean? And you're like, well, this is dog shit. Like this is another stupid Fast and Furious-esque Hollywood, please stop making these fucking movies movie. Like
real quick, one more trilogy like that is Rush Hour, bro. They get progressively worse.
That's true.
The first one is so great, and the third one is
some people like this. Some people like the second Rush Hour movie more than the first. Like some people think the second one is better. I think the first one's better.
Yeah.
Like I like the first one the best, and then the second one like I'm down with. I can watch it. I still think it's pretty good. But the third one was like, man, you didn't need to make this movie.
Yeah, and I think they talked about bringing that back, but nah, don't do it.
Yeah, they need to quit making, like, they need to quit fucking doing that, man. So that's kind of the cool, like, you know, if you're gonna do an action movie, do it like fucking. That's what I like about Bullet Train is it's very unique, like that idea of like, I mean, it's like movies like that have been made, but it's kind of its own thing though, because like there's like all these different cultures kind of intertwining on this train. That's like there's a couple of British guys, and then there's this dude from Mexico who's got a grudge against Brad Pitt's character, and then there's like a girl that they call the honeybee, or what do they call her? Something like the honeybee, but it's because she poisons everybody. Like, and I don't know. There's just like a huge like cast of characters that are like really interesting, and like so. The story's pretty simplistic, but the way it's packaged is so much fun to watch. It's like that. It's like, man, if you're gonna do action movies, like at least do something like this where it's original, or like fucking Guy Ritchie's newest movie, The League of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Like that movie was a lot of fun too.
Those two are connected. The Gentleman and
but there is a series on Netflix. I've been told the series is really good too.
It's got Giancarlo Esposito in it. Fucking Gus Fring.
Yep.
Anyways, we got to get through these.
Yeah,
you got any more?
Nah, man, that was it. I didn't watch a ton of movies this time around.
All right, I got a few more. I watched another A24 movie, First Reformed. It's got Ethan Hawke. He plays a preacher.
Okay.
And it was pretty damn fucking good, dude. It's like thought-provoking and fucking kind of intense and just really pretty good.
I was gonna say, I think Ethan Hawke's honestly a pretty underrated actor.
He's fucking great, dude. I love Ethan Hawke. Remember Boyhood? Man, that was a great movie.
He's in Training Day.
Training Day.
He's in a horror movie I really like called Sinister.
And he's also in Black Phone, right? I didn't watch Black Phone.
I didn't watch Black Phone either.
But that's that newer horror movie.
Yeah,
I think they're coming out with another one.
I tend to stay away from newer horror
really
all the time. Yeah.
A couple more. I rewatched The Banshees of Inisherin. Fuck, I love that movie, dude. I fucking love it. Dude, I rented it, but I should have bought it, dude, because I freaking love it so fucking much.
Dude, it always gets me every time when he starts throwing his fucking fingers against the door.
Yeah.
This is some of the wildest shit I've ever seen in a movie.
And the donkey fucking eats the fingers and dies, chokes and dies.
And that's it. That's the last straw for Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
he's like, nope, fuck you. Now
I gotta come burn your house down. Spoiler alerts, but yeah. Last one, Nutty Professor, dude. Classic Eddie Murphy. Fucking. Oh yeah. Oh, it's so fucking good. I kind of want to watch the original with what's his face?
Oh, with
I can't think of the name right now.
It's I know exactly who you're talking about. What is his fucking name?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I got to too, man. 'Cause they were.
I should know it, man.
Well, it's the actor he was paired with. Like they did a lot of movies together.
Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, Jerry Lewis and
co-stars Stella Stevens, Del Moore, Kathleen Freeman, Howard Morris, and Elvia Allman. Any of those people? You talking about? What you talking about? Uh-oh, dead air.
Sorry, no, man.
I know. I found it a little hard to Google. Who you talking about? Willis?
It's not any of these people. Let me give it a goog.
All right, but anyways, you Google it and I'll talk about the Nutty Professor. Man, that shit is funny. Women be shopping. You got Dave Chappelle up there on stage.
Yeah,
that's Reggie, dude.
Yeah,
that is not your real hair. Take that shit off your head. Buddy Love is so fucking insane, bro. He's just in the comedy club, just laughing his ass off. And then you got fucking Jada Pinkett Smith in there before she was Nutso Butso. Did you know she had a metal band? I saw him live before at Ozfest, dude. Wicked Wisdom. And Will Smith was there on side stage just bobbing his head, acting like he enjoyed it.
Right? Everybody knew they sucked, though.
Yeah, they weren't great. I recently looked them up again just for nostalgia's sake, and boy, it's not great. You find it?
Yeah, I finally remember the person I was thinking of, but I don't think he's in that movie, actually. I thought he was. I thought it was Dean Martin, so I thought that in the original one, Jerry Lewis turned into Dean Martin, because Dean Martin was always like the cool guy, like the crooner singer.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So I was mistaken, though, so.
Oh, real quick, before we jump into a movie, I forgot to give out the Rotten Tomatoes for Brazil, that movie Brazil that we did. 98% Rotten Tomatoes, 90 audience. Is that crazy?
Dude, it's got to be all the fucking people that
love it.
Yeah, the people that are fucking brainwashed into liking that movie, dude.
In its time, I guess, maybe, I don't know, but I forget what year that was, but
it was made in the 80s for sure.
Yeah. All right, so what movie do you want to jump into first?
I'm cool with whatever, man, actually. I could talk about either of these movies.
All right, how about The Gentleman?
Since
it's right here on my notes.
Yeah, cool. Let's go with that.
The Gentleman, 2019 action crime kind of comedy. Director Guy Ritchie. We got 75 on the tomato score. Pretty good. 84 audience. The audience
I think it's a little more like it. Yeah, it's
yeah.
This is a fucking I really like the way the story is told, because it's kind of told by it's told by an unreliable narrator,
right,
which is Hugh Grant's character, because he's basically.
I had a couple small problems with that, but it's cool. Go ahead.
Well, it's purposeful because like some of how he recounts events didn't happen that way. And one of the things is, for example, when, big spoiler alert, by the way, everybody.
Spoilers.
When he's recounting the events with Dry Eye, where he's like putting his hands on his wife, and then Matthew McConaughey's character goes crazy and just like unloads this whole clip in him. But then when you actually see him at the end of the movie in the freezer, he doesn't have any gunshot wounds in him. So they probably strangled him or did something, killed him in another way. Like that was much more personal because he,
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. But that was like, it's just little things like that where that's what I think is so cool about this movie is it gives this mystique to Matthew McConaughey's character. What is the name of his character in this movie?
I don't remember, but did you say you saw this in theaters back?
No, I didn't. I actually watched it because of my buddy Dylan. So me and my buddy Dylan
Shout out Dylan.
Shout out Dylan. Oh, his name's okay. It is Michael. That's okay. So Michael has this air of mystique, and I think it's funny how he's painted as like this violent gangster, but you almost never see him lose his cool except for like in a few key scenes. Like really, like when we see him interact with other people, he's always really calm and collected, even when he's doing some like gangster shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. I kind of like that storytelling element because it's like it gives it this air of. It's like when a bunch of like hard men are talking about the baddest motherfucker in the city, and it's almost like tall tales, you know what I mean? And so like you kind of have to piece together what exactly is true about this person and what's like
and what's the other word I was looking for? Fuck it.
It's kind of like hyperbole or
hyperbole. That's it. Good job. Yeah. Ding. Yes, points. Real quick, the tagline is criminal class period. Criminal period class period.
Honestly, I think the method he comes up for housing like all his weed shops is like really fucking interesting and cool and like pretty like it's pretty clever. You know what I mean?
It's pretty neat and cool and great.
Because it's like it just looks like these like abandoned fucking shipping containers, but then underneath is literally like an entire fucking field. Like they literally built an infrastructure under their like houses and buildings that are like and it's multiple acres underground.
Inconspicuous and shit.
Yeah.
So this director, he likes to do ensemble cast movies, huh?
Yeah, he's a lot of them. I
don't think I've seen much of his shit. What else he do? Snatch.
He did Snatch. He did Lock, Stocks, Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah. Is that one good? People talk. I
do like that movie. It's a little rough around the edges. Let's go through some of his movies.
Yeah. See, I feel like I might have seen parts of Snatch, but I don't really recall it all.
I might end up picking Snatch at some point. I really also enjoy that movie.
I enjoy Snatch too.
There you go. Another big one he did is a movie called Rock and Rolla. So it's got Gerald Butler. It's got Tom Hardy. It's another gangster movie. Yeah, Tom Hardy's great, man. But the two movies he's really known for are the Sherlock Holmes movies that have Robert Downey Jr. in them.
Are those good? They don't look.
They're okay. Good. They're okay. Honestly, he's done better movies. The ones I haven't seen that I want to see are The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Oh yeah. Heard of it. Yeah, I don't see. I haven't seen any of.
He's got a new one in the gray.
But they don't quite seem like my cup of jizz, you know.
Your cup of jizz.
Yeah. But yeah, what else we got? This movie has like a lot of wheels turning, a lot of moving parts.
I feel like it's a movie you almost have to watch twice to get everything.
I feel that.
Because it's
because I like the first 10, 15 minutes I was confused. I was just trying to keep up with it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I should have put the damn subtitles on because some of them accents kind of throw me a little bit.
Yeah. And it's like, especially like Bunny, you don't like Bunny's the big black dude. You don't expect him to talk the way he talks. It's kind of really funny.
Yeah. But yeah, it is one of them movies where there's just so much going on the whole time and shit, and you just gotta be attentive. You gotta really pay attention. It feels. I wrote down that it feels kind of like a Martin McDonagh type movie. Some, like In Bruges type shit.
Oh yeah.
They kind of have a similar feel. These two directors.
I think they both do. Sometimes they both do ensemble cast. Kind of the same. Honestly, the same way I think the Coen brothers, like I think they're kind of comparable to like some of their movies, like Burn After Reading, or
Love it.
Or I mean, even
you're comparing them to this guy too.
Yeah,
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, because just because of the way they use ensemble casts, and a lot of times their movies have so much packed into them. So much
going on at once. I see what you're saying.
It requires like a second watch to really like take everything in.
I know. Last time I watched Burn After Reading, I fucking loved it even more than the first few times.
I definitely liked Burn After Reading more the second time, just because there's just so much to unpack.
And Malkovich is so good, dude.
Yeah, he's fucking so funny in that movie.
And Brad Pitt, dude, he steals the show because man, that dude's got fucking comedic chops, bro. He can really play a comedian role, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I thought that was interesting how these directors can be compared to each other. What else is in my notes? Oh yeah, so like you were saying with the guy Hugh Grant who's telling the story.
Yeah, he's narrating it, but it's very unreliable. So you kind of like.
That's what I wrote down. I was like, I don't really care for some of the misdirection of the story. Like when he's, like he'll be saying something and then Charlie Hunnam would say so. He's like, I was just making sure you were paying attention or something like that.
Yeah.
That kind of threw me. I was like, dude, man, just tell me the story,
I love Charlie Hunnam in this movie, though. He is so fucking great in this movie. That scene where he's with the kids, where he's like, just give me the phone, and I'll give you the stack of cash.
Right.
And then the kids try and get all tough with him, and he's like, quit fucking around, you cunts. And he takes out his gun, and he's like, right. And he just starts shooting it.
Yeah.
And he's like, now give me the fucking phone.
Kind of made me want to watch Sons of Anarchy again.
Dude, same, man. I love Charlie Hunnam, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's been in a lot of, like...
good-looking guy.
Really handsome, yeah. Kind of jealous. I'm just like, damn, dude. I was like, even if I worked out like 6 times a week, I wouldn't be as handsome as you. It's kind of not fair.
Yeah. People say McConaughey's handsome. I guess he is, but yeah.
But he's also older in this movie, though. I mean, you got to think. I think he's like pushing 50 or maybe in his 50s in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because I mean, he was in his 30s in like the early 2000s.
All right.
Yeah. But
was it
honestly,
Dazed and Confused?
Yeah. I think McConaughey is fucking awesome. I think this is like one of his best.
He's never been my favorite, but he's pretty cool. I like him.
Specifically in this movie, like I think how his character is so nuanced, where like he's never really showing his cards until the end of the movie, like what he does with the other like big time like crime lord.
Yeah, and even at the beginning, you're led to believe that he was shot dead in that bar or whatever.
Yep.
Like right at the beginning, and then come to find out it was Charlie Hunnam who saved him or something.
Yeah, who actually knows what's going on. Yeah.
Right.
I also really like the kid that plays Dry in this movie, because he's just like such a swarmy little fucker. You know what I mean? He's just like he like plays that like young gun gangster who's like too big for his shoes like really well.
Yeah.
And so I even like when he is trying to get like tough with Michael, and Michael is just like closes his book. He's like, I don't have time for you. Now fuck off.
You know who else I really fucking love, and I love him just in general? Colin Farrell, bro.
Dude, he's so good in this movie. Dude, he actually,
he's
I
a
forgot
pretty
to
great
bring
character.
He's my favorite character in the whole movie. Like even in his introductions, when he's in the diner and he's just talking mad shit to those kids, and he's beating the shit out of all of them. And they're like, "Oh my god, are you the coach?" He's like,
the coach. The fucking coach.
Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah, he's good. He's the Irish guy. Yeah.
I love when he has that interaction with Charlie Hunnam's character where he's showing him the video of what they did to Big Dave.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've already seen it, and it still shocks me every time.
It's nightmare fuel.
It's nightmare fuel. Yeah, that was my favorite line in the movie. It's nightmare fuel. It makes me laugh every time.
That's something you can't unsee, right? Yeah, you can't unsee it. It's nightmare fuel.
Dude, honestly, that's the other thing. The comedy is like really on point in this movie.
I laughed. I chuckled pretty good at this movie.
I like it when gangster movies don't take themselves too seriously.
That's fun.
Go ahead. You were gonna make another point.
I was gonna say the whole rap music video part. I wasn't into that.
Oh,
not a fan of that. I was like, hey, you really got to do this right now? Like, this movie doesn't really need that.
I think it was to show just how stupid those kids were, you know? Like, it was, like, really hitting home. It's like, yeah, these kids are, like, really good at fighting, but they don't have anything else. They're dumb, because who robs a drug dealer, like a big drug dealer, and then puts that shit online for everybody to find? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's why the coach is like, tell me you didn't fucking put it online.
Right. Yeah. What else you gotta say?
I was going to say, I absolutely love the dialogue at the end between the two, like, crime lords, where he's like, you know, I'm not emotional about the money, you know, because he's like, I understand that's just business.
Oh yeah,
but I am emotional about the fact that someone puts their hand on my wife. My wife, like the emotion, because like that's something every man can understand. He's like, you know, I'm not emotional that you did this fucked up shit, because you know, dirty business is dirty business. Mm-hmm. But it's like you crossed the line, you fucking fucked with my wife, and now you have to pay for that transgression.
That was the other guy, right? Jeremy Strong is the Jewish guy.
Yep.
Have you seen Succession?
I haven't seen that, no.
It's pretty good. But anywho, yeah, there's all kinds of twists and turns, and towards the end, I was like, all right, how many freaking twists and turns are we going to have? You know what I mean? It's
that's
enough already.
That's kind of the funny thing, though, is a lot of the twists and turns stuff is like, upon second watching it, you realize like all these things are kind of set up to where like, you're like, oh yeah, they kind of told you how this movie is going to, and it's kind of been going on. Like they have like little clues the entire movie to like where, like what's actually going on. So like, after like that Jeremy Strong's character totally fucked over, but there's so much information before they even tell you. You kind of on the second watch, like, oh yeah, they kind of laid all this like pipeline down before they even revealed that shit. Like you're like, oh yeah, he's totally fucking over.
Yeah.
It was like there's a lot of stuff that's really obvious. On the second watch, it's like, oh yeah, all this stuff, all these like twists are really just the way that
the narrator
Hugh Grant is telling the story. And really, it's like upon a second watch, it's like, oh, they're not really twists. He's just an unreliable piece of shit who's like trying to flare up the story. You know what I mean?
A piece of shit.
Dude, but you kind of like him though. Yeah, he's like really entertaining.
He's kind of charismatic in a sort of shitty way.
Right, he's like that scumbag that you kind of want to hate, but you like him though, even though you really want to hate him.
Yeah, he's like, you ain't got a steak, do you? He just randomly asked him to cook a steak.
That's the thing about I will say about Guy Ritchie's movies. When he writes his own characters, his characters are really fun. Like especially usually like the side characters.
I just remembered something. Sorry, go
ahead. No. That was it.
I must have forgot to write it down, but I did watch another movie with Hugh Grant in it. Unfrosted, the new Jerry Seinfeld movie about Pop-Tarts.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of it? You seen it?
No, man.
It was kind of fun, dude. It was, I don't see myself putting it on again, for a while, but it's a very silly take on the corporate biopic genre of movie, you know what I mean?
Oh, I got you.
They really go all like very silly with it, and I kind of enjoyed that. So it's worth a watch. Anyways,
give it a goog.
I'm about at that point. Unless you got anything else.
Nah, man. I've tried to talk this movie up. Like,
it's not a bad movie. Where you rewatchability?
Yeah, man. I'm sitting at like an 8 on this one, man. I love this movie.
Yeah.
The more I like it, the more I watch it, the more I ended up liking it, because there's like stuff that I catch, and like I just kind of have a better grasp of the movie.
You said an 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at about a 7, dude, for my first time watching, and
that's pretty good. That's better than usually what your ratings are for the movies I pick. Honestly,
I don't know if it would hold up on the second watch though. It might go down, but I'm gonna say that while watching the movie, that my rating gradually went up. You know what I mean? Because the first 30, 40 minutes or whatever, it was like I was at like a 6 maybe, you know. But they throughout the film, it gradually went up to a 7.
It's especially like that last. For me, it's like my favorite part of the movie really is that last interaction between Jeremy Strong and Matthew McConaughey, where he's pretty much just telling him, "You're going to do exactly what I fucking say, and you don't have a choice in this matter." Like,
yeah. Rewatch. Oh, sorry.
No,
go ahead.
I was just saying, like, it's so like cold and brutal, like what he's saying, but it's so elegantly said. It's just like I think it's like some of the best writing in the whole movie.
Like when you kiss an asshole and it explodes.
Yep, golden butthole of sparkles. Yeah.
Rewatchability, maybe in the distant future.
Honestly, I'll probably watch this movie again in a few months. I fucking love this movie, man.
And you're telling me the new one that you saw in theaters is not related?
Nope, no, none of his movies usually interconnect except for the Sherlock Holmes movies.
All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to the next one if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Booyah, The Wrestler. We're talking 2008 sports thriller drama type movie. Director Darren Aronofsky. 98 on the tomato meter.
I think that's fair. It's a
98, bro.
It's a fucking great movie, dude. It's
and
really good.
88 on the audience score. I think a lot of that 98 was Marisa Tomei.
Oh, dude, yeah. If you only have one positive thing, it's those Marisa Tomei titties. Like,
so fucking hot,
dude. Yeah. I was just like, yep, you're definitely the mom that I want to bang. Like, she's a super hot mom that's a stripper in this movie.
The tagline, it's kind of similar to The Gentleman, because it's just word, period. It's love, pain, glory. Pretty good tagline. That's all you need in there. I didn't write too many notes because I was just engulfed in the movie,
you
know?
Dude, it's a great movie.
And this is only my second time watching it, and fucking A.
What I'm gonna say too is I'm really into some of those the dark side of wrestling.
Yeah. Like the Iron Claw.
No, like the actual like real life documentaries about like real life wrestlers. So it's like the dark side of wrestling. There's like one on Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's what it's called, the dark side of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've been watching the dark side of comedy.
My favorite, the best.
Is that a Vice thing?
Maybe, yeah.
Interesting.
I think there's different ones. I think there's like the dark side of comedy, the dark side of wrestling.
I've been watching the dark side of comedy. It's good.
Yeah, they're really good. But the one I remember the most is like Nick Gage, man. He I've seen him live too, man. He's a real wrestler. He literally almost died during a wrestling match because he's one of those extreme like deathmatch wrestlers, and he got thrown into some fluorescent light tubes, and literally it slit his whole arm, like slit the artery in his arm. And he almost died. And they like literally stuffed his arm and like taped it shut, and they had to fly him to a hospital. He's like, no, man, I got to get back there and win the match. Like, so I think what this movie does so well is illustrate how fucking into this the people that like, if you're like a lifelong like wrestler, like you don't want to give it up. You want to chase that high. You want to chase that like victory. Like you want to like do it even if it's at the cost of your like own bodily function or life, man. Like these people like really put their bodies and their minds through the fucking ringer.
Yeah, dude.
And it's
brutal.
And it's really dark too. And I think this movie like is it's like so true to like real life, like what some of these people go through or have been through. And that's kind of why I respect the fuck out of this movie, dude. It's like, it's like that true like dark take on, hey, this is kind of what a lot of the time where this kind of shit leads to later in life. Like,
you think this movie's better than Iron Claw or which? It's hard to say. I'd have to see Iron Claw again, but I loved it. I saw that one in theater.
It's a fucking good movie. I don't know, man. I'd have to, because I've only seen Iron Claw once, so I'd have to see how it holds up to a second watch. I've seen The Wrestler probably 3 or 4 times now, and
how good is Mickey Rourke, bro?
He is so Dude,
and he was like a washed up actor at this point.
Yeah,
like,
this movie revitalized his career.
Darren Aronofsky fucking brought him back, like Quentin Tarantino did with Travolta.
Yeah, dude, that scene where he's talking to his daughter and he starts crying. And he's like, "I just don't want you to hate me."
Yeah, dude, I cried.
Dude, it breaks your heart every time you fucking watch it. Also, big spoilers, everybody. Sorry, I should have warned you.
Well, that's what we do here.
Also, the fucking ending, dude, where Marisa Tomei finally comes around, and she's like, "No," she's like, "I changed my mind. Like, let's make this work." She's like, "You're a good dude. I want to be with you." He's like, "No, it's okay." He's like, "This is where I belong." Yeah,
he made it. Oh,
because like it was one of those situations where had she decided sooner, he probably wouldn't be doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's just like, and he sees that she's left, and he's like,
"You're just a customer." Yeah, he sees that she left, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get on the tight ropes and do this shit."
Yo, go out with a bang, and in a blaze of glory. Yo,
jump right to the end. It's cool.
It's just that it's that dark parallel, man, where it's like he's this guy who this is his only thing, and he's never moved past it.
That was one of my notes.
He's stuck in time. So
well, not only that is that throughout the whole movie, he's trying to find love in, like, some type of love with his daughter, love with Marisa Tomei, and it doesn't work out. He only gets love when he's in the ring. So that's what he's attracted to, you know what I mean? People, the fans love him, and when he like you said, puts his body out there on the line and all that shit, that's when he gets the love he needs in his life. And it's tragic because that's what eventually killed him, right? He died, right? It's kind of left open, but
that is definitely like I mean, if he didn't die, he probably had a second heart attack, and so he's gonna have a miserable life like going forward.
Yeah,
because I mean, the dude's got like no money, no retirement, nothing. Like,
it's kind of the same with
it's kind of a parallel to like fucking if you watch the 30 for 30 for Ric Flair, like it's like very kind of how like Ric Flair was, super hot shit in his heyday, but he never saved any of his money, and then by the time like you get to like one of the biggest eras in wrestling, which was like the WWF with like Stone Cold and Triple H and like all those, The Rock, all those big names. And Ric Flair was still around. Like, he's still like a fucking great wrestler, but he's well past his prime when he's doing these matches. And then he just kept doing it and kept doing it, and he just kept putting people over. But it's kind of the same thing with Mickey Rourke. Like, they have that parallel where like he's way past his prime. He shouldn't be fucking wrestling anymore.
Who else could have done that part, dude? I don't know, man. He fucking nailed it,
dude. He was phenomenal. Yeah, but it's like really kind of interesting how obviously Ric Flair's not dead, and like the opposite happened in real life where Ric Flair was able to kind of make amends a little bit with his daughter. I mean, I don't think it's like fully amended, but I mean, obviously they have like some type of relationship because she's a fucking professional wrestler now. So,
oh shit.
But that's kind of, I think, where their story is divergent to where, like, Mickey Rourke, he has that bad night with Marisa Tomei's character, and he fucks it up. He goes and does a bunch of coke and drinks a bunch of beer and spends all night fucking a girl that's probably, like, 30 years younger than him.
Yeah, and he had a date with his daughter to have dinner the next day, and he fucking slept through it, and then he goes there.
Slept till, like, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, goes there late at night, and then, that scene is so heartbreaking.
But you can't even blame her because he's pretty much done this to her entire life.
Whole life. He missed birthdays and all kinds of shit.
Oh, because I mean, it's pretty obvious that he just spent his whole life on the road doing this,
to his
and it's like he had people know who he is. He had a monochrome of success on the smaller circuits, but it's made kind of clear that he never made it to like the big time, right?
Right.
Like, or even if he did, it was in an era where those guys still weren't paid very well. So,
I was gonna say,
spent all his money on drugs and booze, like, which is also possible too.
Right? Yeah.
So I mean, that's what fucking Ric Flair did, man. Like,
oh, that was funny too. Fuck. How that night when he was getting all fucked up with that one blonde chick, and she was like, what did she say? Oh, she said, you want to party like a fireman. And then he wakes up the next day.
Oh, in the fireman's? Yeah, that made me laugh too, man. That was fucking funny.
He like blacked out.
He doesn't have like anything on but like
the boots or whatever.
The fucking boots and like the leg like pull up. So like, yeah. That was hilarious.
It cracked me up. But I was also going to say how, you know, what?
He's like in some fucking kid's room. He like has no idea what's going on. No idea how he got there.
Fireman posters everywhere. And fucking just helmets and shit.
Oh, it's so funny.
I was also going to say, because we talked about how the ending is, how it's left kind of open, whatever you decide. It's kind of the same with The Whale, you know what I mean? And, which is also a Darren Aronofsky film.
Right. It's like,
and I kind of like that, because you know who else does that? Sean Baker, who did, you know, Florida Project
and Red Rocket.
And Red Rocket. It's kind of left open at the end. I don't mind those type of endings. I kind of like them. They're like, you decide what happens.
Right.
That's cool. Some of these scenes are fucking brutal though in this movie. The wrestler, like that extreme match he does with the guy with the stapler.
Dude, I had forgotten about that, man. Like
that shit was brutal
because I didn't remember that being
barbed
in the movie.
wire and all kinds of shit, just shards, tacks, and
that's
shit.
kind of like, well, I mean, fucking that reminded me of like Mankind. Like, look at Mankind, like Mick Foley, like later in his career. Like all he did. I mean, he literally let the Undertaker fucking throw him off the top of the cage, and he said he like broke 3 ribs and had like a ruptured spleen or some shit like that. Yeah,
get the fuck out. Yeah, dude. I know. Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Are you still into wrestling or what?
No, man. I just was when I was a kid, because like that was like
I was for a little bit as a kid. I quickly grew out of it.
It was just because of like that era of wrestling was like the fucking greatest era, right? Because you had Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
And
I like the Undertaker a lot. Who did I like?
Undertaker, dude.
The Rock.
The fucking Rock. You had
Kane.
I mean, there were so many fucking superstars.
X-Pac. It's like, a generation.
Yeah,
X.
Triple H. Like the fucking matches were insane.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there was like a solid like 10-year period.
The Hardy Boys.
The fucking Dudley Boy. Yeah, the list goes, dude. That it's such that time period.
Big Show.
Yeah, Big Show too, man.
Remember Rikishi? He would fucking stick his big ass in your face.
Yeah,
that's gross.
It was very gross.
What the shit?
But that was the thing.
I didn't agree to this.
It was just like the greatest roster of fucking like wrestlers, like in the history of like that type of entertainment. And so I just like this movie like brings a lot of callbacks to like some of those older wrestlers who like that they kind of had to inhabit that gimmick because they couldn't do like a lot of the athletic stuff they used to be able to do, so they are kind of ended up doing these just like really gnarly hardcore matches, and Mick Foley was like really known for that, and like so that and like there was like a hardcore Henry or some shit like that where he always did like those matches, really got fucked up every time doing them, but that really reminded me of like some of those guys in the 90s who were kind of past their prime, like doing that shit. It's just like, it's brutal to watch, dude.
Brutal.
Especially when you go back and watch like Undertaker versus Mankind, like, and you know what ended up happening to him in real life, because like on stage you're like, oh yeah, fuck him up, Undertaker, but then you like realize, oh no, he just literally ruptured his spleen and broke 3 ribs, and he is like has a massive concussion, like he is fucked up. Like, that's insane. It's crazy what those guys.
It's insane to commit to putting your body through all that shit.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy because it's like as dangerous as like playing football and like hockey and like some of the sports that are like really, really physical,
CTE and shit.
Yeah, wrestling is way worse, dude. Like some of the injuries those guys get are just fucking gnarly.
Wrestling's fake.
Dude, I love when people say that. It's like, yeah, it's choreographed, but dude, those guys get the shit beat out of them night in, night out.
What was I gonna say? Oh, you know who else is a wrestler? David Arquette. Have you seen the documentary? There's a documentary about him.
Yep, he's
pursuing wrestling.
He's also in the Nick Gage documentary because he wanted people to take him serious as a wrestler. So he wrestled Nick Gage, not knowing that Nick Gage is a deathmatch wrestler, and Nick Gage literally fucking used a pizza cutter and like split his head open. And there's at one point, and you can hear it like if you watch their match live, you can literally hear Nick Gage look at him as like, just lay down or I will fuck you up in real life. And dude, Nick Gage is not a dude you want to fight, because that dude, I've seen him, like his matches in real life, his shit's not fake. Like, he literally put a chair over a guy's face and ran full speed and, like, fucking missile drop kicked it. And when the dude came up, he literally had an imprint in the chair of it in his face. Like, Nick Gage fucks people up. Like, that shit, I was like, no, that shit's not fake. He, like, really hurts people.
Nick Gage.
He's, like, more of, like, an underground wrestler. I got to see him live because my buddy Nick...
Gage?
My buddy... Well, no, not Nick. Nick Bowen from... Chicago. Shout out Nick Bobo. I mentioned him before, yeah. But he got me to go see that show, man, and I had a lot of fun because it was crazy. I couldn't believe the shit that I saw. Like,
I can't believe that I could be deceived. What else was going? Oh, David Arquette is. If you watch that documentary, he seems a little like autistic-y or something. He's kind of weird. He's a weird guy.
Yeah, he's kind of a weirdo. Yeah.
And I was also going to say that. He also did that Ready to Rumble movie.
That movie's funny, by the way.
I don't think I've seen it.
My cousin and me were really into wrestling. That movie came out when we were still kids, and we used to watch it all the time. It's actually it's even funnier now because of how corny it is. Like,
yeah,
it fucking cracks me up.
What's the premise?
So the premise is that so it's got. Oh,
I don't know the other guy's name.
It's got James Cain's son. He's in that movie, and David Arquette, and they're going to a wrestling show to see their favorite wrestler, King, who's played by what's his name? I gotta look.
Give it a goog.
Gotta give it a goog.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen parts of that movie. I don't know.
It's a fucking hilarious movie.
I wonder what kind of score that one got.
Probably not good, dude. It's a stupid movie, but it's
just
funny.
one you grew up with.
Yeah, it's one I grew up with. Oh, Oliver Platt. So Oliver Platt is their favorite wrestler.
Wait, let me see his face. Who's Oliver Platt?
He's been on a ton of fucking movies, dude.
Is he who I'm thinking of?
Come on.
I could have pulled it up myself, I guess.
That's Oliver Platt.
Yeah, that is who I was thinking of.
Yep.
He's in Simon Birch. I love that guy.
Yep, he's a great actor, but he plays a wrestler named King, and
I don't see him wrestling.
Well, he's actually a really big guy in real life.
Yeah,
he's like 6'4".
He looks big. He was also in Fargo, the series.
Yep. But so he's like their favorite wrestler, but he's really on the outs with the promotion, so they make him lose the belt to Diamond Dallas Page. And they kick him out of the wrestling federation. So like the whole movie is about them like finding him and trying to help him win the championship back. It's a funny movie, dude. Yeah. The opening scene is his David Arquette's dad is a cop, and he says that line, he's like, "Wrestling's fake," and David Arquette like screams like a little girl, "Wrestling's not fake." It's a funny movie. It's so corny, and it's like
cheese on that film.
Yeah, like the convenience store clerk, he goes in there and he's really like fucking with him. He's like, "You little Jimmy the King fan boob." It's a silly movie, but it still makes me laugh.
Maybe we should get back on track.
Yeah, sorry, we divergent.
Yeah,
but that just goes to show you how fucking true to form this movie is. Like, you like really believe Mickey Rourke's a fucking wrestler in this movie, man. Like, the way he sells it, the way it like literally gives me nostalgia of other wrestling things that I watched as a kid. It just goes to show like the dedication to this role that he has.
It also has Todd Barry in it. You know Todd Barry?
Who's that?
He's a comedian. He's He's the store manager, that asshole guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's a New York comic, bro.
Got you.
I don't know much of his stuff. He doesn't seem like one I'd watch, but he's pretty funny in this film. He's such an asshole. He
really is.
Mickey Rourke walks in and he's watching porn. He's like, "Don't you know how to knock? Let's try that again. Go back out and try that again." He's just watching porn in his office.
I know, dude. That made me laugh, and I'm just like, "What a cocksucker, man!"
Yeah, and he makes him.
Dude, if I fucking caught one of my bosses watching porn on the fucking company computer, I would literally just take my phone out and start videotaping it, right. And I would just send it to fucking corporate.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty funny. I thought it was cool that they chose a comedian for that role.
Dude, he sells it so well. It's yeah, because I've had so many bosses in my life that are like that. They're just utter dickheads.
Yeah, dude. They get that power and it goes to their head. A little bit of power goes to your fucking head.
I was dude, if we weren't at work, you would not speak to me that way because I would knock your fucking teeth out.
Yeah. This is a stupid little thing I noticed, but so Mickey Rourke's character's name is what? Randy the Ram.
Randy the Ram, yeah.
Something, whatever his last name is. And you notice he drives a Dodge Ram
yep.
van.
Yeah. Oh, God, dude.
I thought that was kind of a fun little thing they put in there. Of course he drives a Ram, dude. He's the Ram.
He's the Ram, man.
Yeah. So
I thought it was cute with the kids, too, where they wake him up to make him play with them.
Yeah, that was nice. And then he wants the kid to come play Nintendo with him.
This game's kind of old. That fucking
yeah.
He's
like, "Do you know Call of Duty 4?" What is it? Call of Duty?
I know that fucking Nintendo is probably 20 years older than that kid is.
It was a regular NES. So yeah, I don't know. See, he's trying to connect with people, but he could only get love in the ring.
I know, it's tragic, man, and sometimes that happens, man. It's that can very much be athletes. I think a good example of that is look at Mike Tyson. When he was a boxer, the fucking woman he married cheated on him all the time. Her name was Robin Givens. She's a terrible fucking actress, but she got known because she fucking married Mike Tyson. That propelled her career. She was fucking a bunch of. He literally caught Brad Pitt in the bed with her one day when he came home.
Dude, are you gonna fuck it? You're gonna fuck Mike Tyson's wife, dude? Are you insane?
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know nothing about.
Yeah, he ran out. Apparently, according to the stories, Brad Pitt ran out of the house naked.
That is one kind of scary guy. Yeah,
that was the kind of thing. Is that was another person. He could only get love in the ring. People fucking loved him because he was fucking murdering people in the ring.
What do you think about him and Logan Paul or whatever?
I think it's tragic, man.
It's gonna be stupid, right?
It's tragic because
they're trying to
Logan Paul would have never fought Tyson, even if he was past his prime Tyson when he was 35, still boxing. Where it's he probably should have retired, but he still was knocking motherfuckers out. So why would he not keep fighting? You know what I mean? Because
sure.
Mike Tyson only lost 4 or 5 boxing matches in his entire career. So out of 60 boxing maxes, he only lost 5. In one of them, he was disqualified because he bit off Xander Holyfield's ear.
That old story.
Yeah, but Jake Paul would have never fucking boxed him when he was actually still an active boxer.
Oh, hell no.
And if he was in his prime, fuck no.
Well, they're trying to put a bunch of stipulations on the match and shit too. I don't know all the rules or whatever.
Yeah, but I was as a boxing fan, I hope Mike Tyson knocks him.
Are you a boxing fan?
Yeah, man.
You like Rocky? I didn't care for Rocky.
I prefer real life boxing, but
sure.
It's I prefer they actually made a movie about him. The movie The Fighter that's got
Mark Wahlberg
and
Christian Bale.
So that's based on a real fighter named Mickey Ward, and he had a bunch of boxing matches with it was like Antonio Gazette's. What is his name? But he was another really great boxer. They had like 3 boxing matches, and every one of those boxing matches was a bloodbath. Like they were brutal, and they were awesome. Like I actually got to watch the third one live with my dad. I'll never forget it. It was such an action packed boxing match, and like why boxing can be so great.
Are you a UFC MMA type guy?
Oh yeah, dude, I love that shit, man.
I'm not really, but I'd be seeing TikToks of like compilations of knockouts and shit.
Sure.
I'm like, this shit is intense. I get why people like it.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same reason why people like wrestling, man. It's like sometimes like especially like the death matches and shit, that shit can get really intense when you're seeing people with glass fucking stuck in their skin and their face like slammed into
they're fucking like
they're really actually fucking each other up,
prying out fucking staples from dude's skin and shit.
Yeah,
in the
dude,
movie.
Like that's how ECW was. It was brutal, man. They used to have barbed wire matches. Like that shit is real. Like that shit, and it still happens, man. Like there's a guy kept bringing up Nick Gage. Like he is part of a company that like a lot of their matches are death matches. So like barbed wire rings and fucking they hit each other with like strobe lights and shit. Like, which is crazy that he still does that shit because that's how he almost died. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, crazy. All right, well, should we rate it?
Yeah, dude.
What are you sitting at?
I'm gonna give this movie a 9.
Whoa, a big ass 9, bro.
Yeah, fat ass 9.
Yeah, that's fucking great.
It's partly for the Marisa Tomei action. Like that really.
Did we fucking talk enough about that? Jesus Christ, she's
man.
like fucking naked in like half this movie.
I know, and I was just like, and this movie has my full attention. Like,
she's so fucking hot, dude.
Dude, yeah.
And she's a stripper and just working it, bro.
Nope.
And I've always had a crush on her. Remember when George was trying to get a date with her on Seinfeld?
Yep.
That was a great episode.
So silly. It's
Marisa
so funny.
Tomei. She likes short, stocky, bald men.
It's so funny. It really is.
Yeah, I'm sitting. I was in between an 8 and an 8.5, so I wrote down 8.2.
8.25.
If we want to, we could stretch the spectrum into, instead of 0 or 5, we can go in between if we want. Sure, 8.2 instead of 8.5. Maybe 8.3. But anyways, that's where I'm at. It's a fucking great movie.
It's a great movie.
Rewatchability, of course.
Yeah, man.
I'll give it a little while. It's heavy. I cry a little bit at this movie.
Yeah, it's you like them heavy movies though, man. You
got
like
that
those
right.
make me cry movies.
Fucking originally Mike suggested this movie to me, but it was already on my list. So since he suggested it, I popped it on and I was like, you know my style of movie, Mike, because this shit's great. There you have it, folks. Fucking A. One thing left to do.
I know.
Do you know what you're picking? I don't know yet.
No, man, I don't.
I had an idea. I got a list of shit here.
I did too.
Fucking A. No.
What's funny is Snatch is on my list of one of the movies to pick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick it this time though. I'm gonna wait a while longer.
Oh, dude. Did I say I watched Fargo recently? Maybe. Did I see that on the last episode?
I don't remember, man.
Yeah, I did watch it recently.
What should I pick?
What should we pick? Call in and let us know. All right, I think I know what I'm gonna pick. Do you? Should I go first or you?
Go ahead, man. I'm gonna base my pick off of what you pick.
All right. Well, I'm choosing it's a dramedy.
Okay.
It stars. You're gonna get this right when I say it. Stars Paul Giamatti and Thomas Hayden Church.
Sideways. Yep. Okay. That's a good flick, man.
Yeah, I'm picking Sideways. Let's fucking go.
Oh shit, man.
Who's that director? I forget his name. Anyways, go ahead if you want.
Fuck, dude. Now I'm not sure what to pick.
Well, you don't have to judge it off mine. You can pick whatever you want.
I want to pick a comedy movie, but I don't.
Alexander Payne is the director. Yeah. I knew that. He's got some good ones.
This is actually one you're probably gonna have to edit this down because I'm gonna take a goog for a second, man.
All right. Well, anyway, I'll just talk and Sideways. I can't wait to watch it. I've seen it a few times. It's pretty good, man. I don't know. Their relationship. It's like a buddy comedy dramedy type movie, and their relationship is just so funny.
You know what? I actually did think of a movie, and I've been thinking about picking this movie before.
All right, lay it on me.
Movie is called Dope.
I've seen it.
Have you?
Yeah, dude.
Do you like it?
I did like it.
I'm picking Dope, dude. I'm picking Dope.
It's the one with the black kids and
that's trying to get into Harvard. Yep.
Yeah, and it's got Blake Anderson in it from Workaholics.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He's their drug dealer. Yep.
Yeah, all right. I saw it once. I thought it was a decent flick. We'll see what happens on the second watch.
What's funny? It's kind of comparable to the Gentleman, where it's like an ensemble cast and it's like a lot of crazy shit happens like in the movie.
Yeah, I guess these two movies kind of do mesh well. I guess they're kind of similar in a sense. We'll have
a lot to talk to. Yeah, because I actually almost picked this movie before, and I was like, but I wanted to wait for something better to pair it with, and I was like, I think this will be a good pairing.
All right, well, I don't ever take if you go first on the movie pick, I never consider your opinion. I just pick what I want to pick.
No, that's cool. I just I like to do that though. Like sometimes I think it's cool to have like two totally different movies.
Yeah.
But for something like this where it's like a movie that I like anyway, I want to pair it with something else that I like that's not gonna be like it's like dragging it down, you know what I mean? Because I feel like when I picked that fucking Brazil movie with like when you picked that other movie, I was like watching Brazil with that other movie almost dragged the other movie down with it because Brazil was so fucking bad. Seriously, fuck that movie. I'll never watch it again.
Brazil, dude, that shit was insane.
Brazil out my asshole. Like.
What was the other movie on that? I'm trying to think. Aristocats. Yeah. That was a weird pairing, but
yeah, it was really weird. And I was like, I don't want that situation again.
All right. So we got Dope and we got Sideways. Sideways Dope. All
Sideways
right.
Dope, dude. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody. This has been a fun one. I think we really dug in there pretty good and got to the bottom of these films.
The bottom of Marisa Tomei's titties. Sorry, I'm done. That was the last one.
I'll eat her bottom. All right. Peace out, folks. Till next time.
I might end up picking Snatch at some point. I really also enjoy that movie.
I enjoy Snatch too.
There you go.